This is the Bar Stewards Enquiry.
Right? You're talking absolute rubbish. Absolute rubbish.
In what way?
You were an underachiever in life. I saved your bacon one time. You were gone.
You handled that well. I couldn't save you. But you did the right thing.
But that's why you don't know anything about racing, John.
I didn't say I do.
Right?
I'm saying that...
What have you contributed to racing? You're one of these take-out merchants. Take out all you can.
And a very warm welcome to the Bar Stewards Enquiry Weekend Podcast, where we hope to give you some brilliant winners to finish the Glorious Goodwood meeting. And joining me this evening to chew the fat and find you those winners are two very good judges indeed. My first of all, my best partner in crime, Jonas Leng. Jonas, he's obviously famous for his Mull of Kintyre. In fact, he's even gone on to find a second football club. Now he knows that Nottingham Forest play it before they come out. So John is now a Forest fan as well as a Borough Nil fan. Evening, John.
Far have I travelled, much have I seen.
What a show that was. Completing the trio this evening is the one and only Nick Davis. Nick, who has basically cost the scourge of the betting office staff of London Town. When he goes in there, their Xmas bonus goes down. Good evening, Nick Davis.
I wish. I'm celebrating tonight because we've signed an Italian striker. I'm going to have mortadella and focaccia and some mango as well.
Is that a metaphor?
No, I don't know. I've got in so much trouble with these metaphors. I discovered what pegging means today, and I didn't,
Wow.
Yeah. West Ham haven't had a decent Italian since Paolo Di Canio.
No.
I hope you discovered what pegging is by looking it up and not actually anybody demonstrating.
No.
Pegging.
That's long gone.
Pegging.
That's long gone.
All right.
Didn't take as long, did it?
That's just quite quick this week, yeah.
Right, onwards and upwards. Can't go any lower. So we'll go on to our best bets. And third best, John, I'm coming straight to you for your third best this weekend.
Right. Third best bet is in the 105 at Goodwood, the 2-year-old Maiden. And that is Loyal Touch, trained by, God, I can't believe I'm saying this, trained by nice debut at Salisbury. Had Dancing Magic behind him that day, who then went on to finish in front of the favourite here, Classic, at Newmarket, second time up. So an extremely tenuous form link gives this one the edge here. I like the Foxes as a type in this, but when I saw him at Ascot the other day, when I actually tipped him, I got the impression he might have had a bit of a growth spurt because he looked little bit more on the leg than he did at Newbury on debut. And while I don't like the horse, I can't really back something that I've got that impression about round here because it really ought not to suit. So given the fact that there's this tenuous form link giving the kilt horse the edge on Classic, I think 11-2 against 11-10 is a pretty decent play anyway. So I'm going with that 1 point win. Interesting.
10-11 now. The Julie Wood horse of Richard Annan's 260,000 guinea purchase. Shape we promise on debut for sure. John likes Loyal Touch, and I had a tip for Loyal Touch on debut at Salisbury, and I wasn't cursing Franny, but I was cursing Franny at the end. I thought he shaped like the best horse in that maiden, John, Loyal Touch. Little bit green, caught wide. I just felt he was definitely the best horse in that race. So
I never think Franny's the best to get one home that's a bit gawky and green either. He's a similar structure to Holly Doyle. He can't really wrap himself around one, can he, and coax it.
No.
So you can probably make excuses for that, really. And we do know the kilt likes a winner here, doesn't he? So
absolutely, yeah. No, can't knock it at the prices really, because Classic now, for anyone that fancies Classic, looks like a ship that sailed, having been put in at 6-4. on the tissue. But John opposing that with some value with the kilt at 11-2. Good luck, John. I'll start the round in the Stewards Cup, which is could be a little bit difficult draw-wise to work out, but I'm still sticking with it because I'm sort of preemptive about it for quite a while. First folio of James Ferguson's, stall 4 draw. Normally I do like a low number. I can't really go in with confidence tomorrow that will be the case. I'm not sure. Little pace that side. Not sure where they're going to go. But the runner Ascot from First Folio said to me that this horse is definitely ready to win. It was on the wrong part of the track, as we saw with Fresh in that race. Fresh finished behind First Folio that day, and I do think that horse was just possibly as disadvantaged as Fresh in terms of where he was on the track. And I've had him in mind for this race ever since. But I've not been tempted by the anti-poster 14-1, which is what he was, because I just thought you'd probably get that on the day maybe. And he is a best price 12-1. So I'm going 1 point win First Folio to do the business. I like 4-year-olds in this. I like an up and coming sprinter. Pieces for the first time as well. So nothing negative really. So 12-1. Available 1 point win for me. Nick Davis.
Well, on last week's theme of opposing probably the shortest priced horse, which will go a bet, I'm going against Lethal Levi because, well, he's going to be hard to beat tomorrow. He has got some pace up against him when he had Audience last time, which is an absolute hound of Gosden's. He'll probably losing its knacker soon. With Nelson Gay, I thought this one shaped very well last time at Sandown. I think it's significantly more retains the ride tomorrow, back up to 6. I'm hoping he'll be in the bunch just behind Lethal Levi and possibly a bait and pick him up late.
Good stuff. Interesting what you say about Lethal Levi, because I don't think he's worthy. He is in savage order, but I don't think he's worthy of his adjusted mark of 100. The reason being, if you watch him last time, he absolutely pinged the lids. He must have made a length and a half in the first 10 yards. And I always think in sprints, that's more or less over and done.
But he had Audience up his arse as well, which is...
Yeah, well, exactly. Audience just absolutely curled up like a large one. But yeah, Nelson Gay, 8-1, Nick, for you. That's generally available at the moment. So 1 point win on that. Good luck with that one. Okay, I'll start us off, going back around the wheel with the second best. And this is one I do quite like a lot. I think the trainer's in a bit of cuckoo land when he says we might sneak in the Ebo after he won at Newmarket on his penultimate start. But Semhan in the 2:10, that's the is that the summer handicap? Yeah, the Coral Summer Handicap feature handicap. And I really feel the way he won at Newmarket, this was a horse that was really progressing, primarily because he's unexposed, I think, at staying trips, which he's definitely bred to do. He was uber impressive at Newmarket. It's strong form, that, and I think he's very lucky only to have gone up 5. And he shaped well behind Candleford at Ascot. Never got a run really. Was always in a bit of traffic and messed about with it. I don't think stepping back to a 1.5 miles suited either. I think that was to his detriment. So back up again to 1 mile 6. George Baker, obviously fanciful about the Ebo. You can forget that. But off 92 tomorrow in this, I think he's an absolute major player, and I think there's a lot of value in the 8-1 available. So it's going to be a 2-point win bet for me, back under the Doyler, who got on so well with him at Newmarket. He's a keen going sort, but the Doyler did get on well with him at Newmarket. So that's my second best. Okay, Nick Davis, back to you for your 2-pointer.
Right, this is going to be quite left field. I don't know what forms it's in. It had a prep run on its first run from a million things. It's one of those prep runs where it won't bounce from this. It was over a shorter distance, and now the cheek pieces are back on. and it's Jankanu in the 4:30 at Goodwood.
Good.
Quite a big price, but I want it as well. I want 1.5 points win and a half point to finish second to Forest Falk in the top one, because that could be one of those Johnson ones, same meeting that goes twice in.
Right, interesting staking. Yeah, that old school. This, yeah, like little bit of risk reward here from Nick. So you want the 1.5 points win Junkanu?
Yeah.
At 28 to 1 available.
Right.
And we'll give you a half point. You want the other half point straight forecast.
Yeah.
Forest Falcon to beat Junkanu.
Yeah.
Right, that's brilliant. Yeah, so we'll pay you the CSF. Whatever that pays. But yeah, I like speculative plays like that. If you often fancy one, sometimes it's good to sort of perm them in with forecast with something else that you also think will go well, but is a short price. 4 to 1 Forest Falcon. Like I said, Johnston's famed for doing this at this meeting where he bounces them out again and bang in they go again. So yeah, fair play, Nick. So that's Nick's second best. John, to finish the round.
Off to Galway.
Oh.
The 3:40 Seraquael. This is a Jim Linley horse from debut. The horse has been a bit of a slow learner, and I'm not surprised given the pedigree. Dark Angels can be a tad skittish, shall we say, out of the King's Best mare. The horse has shown signs that the penny is dropping. The second run, the first impression was maybe that it was a bit disappointing. I watched it back a couple of times. I think there was progress there. In theory, Touching Clouds should beat this again, because this one more or less came over the top of him last time, close home to finish second. Seraquael finished third. But as I say, Seraquael ran in a fairly immature manner right through that race, and I think the fact that he's had the pause that refreshes over 2 months off will have done the horse good. He's got a nice draw to get a lovely sit in here. Chris Ayres on the Wild Horse might have to go a bit more forward from the toe box. I just think the way this will pan out, this is one of them horrible situations, a dirty thieving each way bet to nothing.
Interesting. Yeah, I remember you saying about this on the sermon. Did you back it the time after when it was against La Dame Blanche?
I did, yeah.
Did you go each way?
Yeah, the dirty filthy each way bet that day as well.
Yeah. So you think this will step forward again from that?
I think there's definitely more progress in the horse. You know, I mean, obviously when you look at the pedigree, it could go 2 ways. You know. But I think that nice gap, the second run was only 10 days after the first. We're looking 2 months now, and I think they'll have had plenty of time to work on this horse and getting a bit seasoned up now, you know. And I think it's quite a thin maiden as well. You know, and Galway's desperate for anything drawn wide, so I think that'll thin the race out as well. So I think this is a fair each-way poke at 13 to 2. 13
to 2. John says won't be far away, whatever happens. With Denise Kurtz there, 150 odds, 1, 2, 3. Denise standing out at the prices, 11 to 2.
Yeah, Denise, you've pulled.
Good stuff, John. So that's John finishing the round with Sarah Cale. Good stuff, John. So I'm going to come straight back to you, John, again. Kick us off with the Trois points.
Several people are going to hate me after this one. Firstly, yourself for opposing you in the Stewards Cup. And then secondly, friend of the show, Stuart Williams, for tipping his horse. Above made a lovely effort to show runs back at HQ when chased home a fairly useful sprinter called Black Rod, who'll probably be a bit more familiar to listeners than Above is, actually. That horse has been in reasonable form most of the season, and I thought that was a smashing run. Off the same markers today. Now, I think there's plenty of horses in this that aren't particularly well handicapped. You know, I mean, you get to this part of the season and your big handicaps tend to be horses that's been winning and they've all gone up. And this one's on a mark that he can still make progress from, I think. He's been a little bit skittish pre-race, and as a result, they tend to mount him late, either going out on the track or just before everything else gets up and get him away. But I think the pace here should stop him going keen, as he has on a couple of occasions when there hasn't been pace on. He's drawn near, well, just about near the best pace in the race. But I do think the polling and that is a legitimate excuse for him not being seen at his best. Now, I think 6 furlongs on turf, his turf mark's lower than his all-weather mark. I do think he's got a lot of potential at the price. 50 to 1's very fair. I think I'll have to go each way, but yeah.
50 to 1. So that's with PP Betfair, Paddy Power Betfair. Kurtz is 50s, but she's only 6 places. Paddy Power Betfair 7 places. John for some wankering.
Well, we'll have to eschew Denise then, won't we, I'm afraid.
So it's above, good selection, John. Nice price. It's what some listeners like. Love a price to have a go at. And some good each way terms as well. A lot of people like the big place terms.
Well, at least we know that this jockey will be having a paddle up and down the track in the morning to see where the best ground is.
Yeah, do you think his confidence might be affected, having been swore at by Kieran Fallon?
I think he might have had worse on the morning riding a bit of work.
What, for the friend of the show?
Possibly.
Yeah, good stuff, John. Above for John in the Stewards, and the Stuart Williams team will be like hanging from the chandeliers in the early hours if above ends up winning that in a typical Newmarket style party. Okay, we'll move on. Nick Davis, your very best, please.
Right then, I'm going to go for a split stakes, but no, 2 points on the first, 1 point on the second. Mm-hmm. My first, for all the reasons, it's in the Summer Cup, for all the reasons you said, Sam Hahn. I thought 12 furlongs was sharp for it, and it did find a bit of trouble around the bend, bit of skirmishing. Didn't have any chance. As you say, I love to run the time before. And there's a lot of talking. I mean, Trawlham has been a talking horse in there. Soapy Stevens, who won the Newmarket race, or whatever Soapy, yeah. That was the race. There was a couple of fatalities in. There was all kinds of trouble behind that. And I think 3 out the first 4 home. So I want 2 points Sen Harm, and I want the 1 point on Sam Cook, who from that race was wide in rear. And 4 out of the first 5, apart from Sam Cook, were near the front in that race.
That's right, they were, and they had nice trips, yeah.
Yeah. So I want 2 points Sam Harm, 1 point Sam Cook.
2 points Sam Harm, 8 to 1 Coral Ladbrokes, same terms as myself, and 1 point win 14s with Denise. For Nick in his split stake wankery for his very best. Good stuff, that Nick. Interestingly, Seman as well. It's interesting he put Soapy Stevens in as original market leader. Like I said, Trawlham always seems to get backed. But Soapy Stevens was behind Semhan when he in that Newmarket race. It's at every chance as well. It was they both came from a similar position, and Soapy Stevens is £2 worse off. So. Like I said, I think we're on a nice one there. Shall we klaxon that, John?
I think you should, really.
It's a klaxon. It's a Bastures klaxon. We do it, especially with Davis. A class act like Davis tipping it. Yeah, we're going to do it. So Sam Hahn, a Bastures klaxon. Let's hope it fares better than the last klaxon, which was Solcombe, that took my soul away. Right, to finish the round off, it's myself with a really boring blogger style bet. Just to bore everyone to tears, and everyone's like, not having any of this. But it's a kilt horse. It goes in the 3 o'clock at Newmarket. It's Temporize. William Buick booked, and it's 7-4, and I think that's wrong. Marajan, how on earth is that? I know the shirt's got a tremendous reputation as a trainer, but how on earth is that favourite after the dreadful run in the John Smiths, where it was totally tailed off. And prior to that, to me, it wasn't displaying it was that well handicapped anyway. Temporize was the only horse on the day on debut at Wolverhampton to come from off the pace. It was riding very slow at Wolves. And it was tremendously hard to come from off the pace. Temporize managed to do it. I know because I backed the second. It was very painful losing to the kilt. And then next time out, I was very tempted to back it. And then some statistician or someone warned me that Johnston's second time out after a short absence, after they made the debut, is probably not the wisest thing to do at short odds. So I left it, and again it was very impressive. I think it was Dossing. It got a lot in hand. Interestingly, got Buick in the saddle as well. I wonder if that's to get a feel for the old boys in blue to maybe buy this. It's kind of, it's a Mark Johnston Racing Club kind of horse. The owner has horses with Mark Johnston's Racing Club, so this might be a fellow that if this bolts up, it's like I can't see him owning it for much longer. It's a gelding, so obviously it's only got a limited value, but nevertheless, if it wins well, who knows? It might be for sale elsewhere or wherever. But that's my 3-point win. Nap 7-4, bet 365, straightforward that one. I think it'll win. So that finishes off the selection. Some crackers, some corkers. I think we've got a Klaxon, 8-1 Semarm. We've got a brilliant selection from John at 50s with a friend of the show, so we don't just tip favs. Right, on to the TV fair then, chaps. There's 8 races tomorrow, 6 at Goodwood, 2 at Newmarket. So we'll look at the Newmarket ones first. I know everyone's probably not had time to go through everything, etc. But any thoughts on the 155 race? That's the Fillies Nursery, valuable Fillies Nursery, 40,000 added. Fox Degree is the 5-2 fav after winning comfortably last time out for Rafe and Ralph and Luigi in the saddle. Any views here, folks?
I haven't done Newmarket. I didn't get time.
And I bet John hasn't, because John hates Newmarket.
I did have one. I have a note to keep an eye on here, which is Kevin Ryan's transfer action. I thought this one found the ground much too fast at Doncaster last time. I think if this is well watered tomorrow, I think this could improve quite a bit on what we've seen so far. It needs to, because the stuck this on 70. I've been struggling to make its performance is much beyond 60, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I think this might just actually hit its mark of 70 tomorrow. I don't know whether that'll be good enough to win, but I'll be watching this one with interest anyway, because apart from on debut, I don't think it's particularly had conditions to suit.
No, might be a good shout, that, because the time-based ground as well at Doncaster on the night you mentioned was firm. It was officially firm, but which is very rare in these overwatering, sapping times, which we know that Cooper and Prosser are the main suspects, and they could be running 3 seconds slow tomorrow afternoon, which, like you said, that bit more dig might help the Ryan horse. Good shout, that maybe at around 9-1. Thought it was tricky myself. I did think that Queen of Deauville for the kilt, that was okay. I thought that the Nursery that ran in at Haydock last time was a good one. Queen of Deauville, I don't think things went right either. The second horse of Camacho's came out absolutely dotted up next time out. Obviously in a weaker race at Ayr, but absolutely dotted up. So I've got.
Well, at least Queen of Deauville's drawn in the middle as well, so he's got options. Man could run really well, and you find that whatever comes up the stand rail pisses up.
Yeah.
It's just that kind of shithole, isn't it? So
it is.
You just got to be careful.
Always tricky, so nothing concrete in that.
At least it's one of them where you can actually watch a race. This is the second race, not the first race on the card. We have had a bit of controversy over that before, but at least we'll have some idea of what's going on after the first.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Good sort of point for listeners. That or sometimes it's easy to dive in the first, or sometimes tracks, especially Newmarket, might just need a look how much they're knocking off the top. Is that affecting horses closing when they're knocking the surface off? Obviously harder to close because you're getting turf up your nose and in your face. So it's never cut and dried how it's going to ride. 225 then the Chalice again for fillies and mares. 15-8 for the Kilt, Rose of Kildare.
It's asking for trouble, isn't
it? Well, I did when I always see if I do see Kilt short, I always look to oppose. Obviously, I know my best bet's a Kilt, but that's a different reason. But I always do look, and I looked at Star Fortress in this. I thought it was impressive last time, but the second it beat at Chelmsford got pretty well thumped today at Wolverhampton. So I can't see that shortening. At 9-2, I thought Elegant Verse. I think this horse is a bit of a work in progress. It's too keen at the moment. It's running too keen. Maybe I don't know. Frankie rode it last time, so I don't like that because they're going to try and bury that, and that's not the right sort of tactics. So you come back to the Kilt again, because they'll just bounce that out. As we know, Newmarket can sue. That's what they did last time. It's strong enough form with Eternal Pearl.
It's just because it's the Kilt, isn't it? I mean, if it's the shirt instead of the Kilt, we'd probably be looking at HSS and think, well, I maybe can't back it, but it'll probably win. This one, you're looking at and you think, I ought to be backing this. Then you look and say it's the Kilt, and you think, well, it could be fucking last.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah, pretty much. So she, like I say, she's a decent mare. A mark I think represents what she is about just early hundreds to 104, and I think it's all right really price wise because they're going to bounce it out, John.
Yeah.
So that's the advantage. I just think, and it's not going to pull. Some of these might pull in behind, I think the Gosden horse will. Mm-hmm. So. Nick, you haven't looked at Newmarket, have you at all?
No.
Any view on this then, John?
Not really. I mean, as I say, if somebody put a gun to me head and said name the winner, I'd probably say the Kilt and then shut my eyes and expect it to blow my brains out.
Just waiting for trigger to go.
Yeah.
You wouldn't watch it on telly. You just sat there and it said like suspended on Betfair, and then you're waiting for trigger to go bang.
Yeah.
We're intestines everywhere. Anyway. Anyway, right. So 105 Goodwood. Lang's blasted one out in this. He likes the Kilt horse. And like I say, I've watched them all the races so far. John, didn't you like the Foxes as well physically? Or I'm sure.
Yeah, I did. And as I said, when I saw this horse going down the start at Ascot, I was a bit concerned he might have had a growth spurt because he looked a little bit up behind to me when he got down to the start at Ascot, and it kind of tempered me enthusiasm there and then. And I seen that other thing of Carl Burke's as well, which looked different gravy anyway, but he sort of ran in the manner of a horse that had a growth spurt as well because he was weak. He was weak at the finish. And he's had a month off. He could have pulled himself together. I like the horse. It wouldn't be the biggest shock in the world if he beat mine 3 lengths and went somewhere like the Acom next, but I'm willing to chance that the Kilt's more switched on at this stage of the season.
It's interesting races. Like I said, lots of money for Classic. Lots of absolutely pummeling this. Nick, have you any view on this?
I don't do 2-year-olds. You know that, mate.
Yeah. So yeah. Sorry, juvenile race, of course. So I'm gonna have to sit on the fence on this because I wouldn't take odds on the favourite. I've got my notes on what you and Quentin thought of the Foxes in terms of form and physically, John. And Loyal Touch, like I had a tip for it on debut. And yeah.
I think it's a nice race, and I think it's a fairly safe bet playing that each way,
Yeah. What about Hunk Papa, Brian Meehan?
Oh, Jesus. Come on.
Right, 140. It's the Coral Stewards, the consolation, and myself and Nick. Well, Nick's obviously tipped one up in this. Likes Nelson Gay. I like his thought process. Good jockey booking as well in more. And yeah, I'm John. So I'll come to you on this. I'm of the opinion that because Lethal Levi's been rated 100, but Lethal Levi can run in this off. I believe 97 with the penalty, so he's in effect £3 well in. But
he's 94, isn't he? Because Bob Marley's red.
Sorry, yeah, Louis, we're jamming. Yeah, and to be fair, he's a good £3 kid. He really is good. So yeah, all right, I'll give you that. But as I say, anyone just watch it last time. If you got your At the Races site up or your racing post, just watch it last time and have a look at that and tell me that doesn't gain a massive advantage in the first like 20 yards. And let's say it doesn't get that advantage tomorrow. I mean that's and you're having to take what Nevis to Rove. I'd just be a little bit wary at that price. But I agree with all what's been said. If Lethal Levi pings the lids and does what he did last time, then he does take a bit of beating. But I think there's grounds for opposing.
Nelson, got a ride that could be improved upon last time.
Yeah.
And, Ryan Mowers maybe got off and done a Jimmy Quinn and said, I'll win on this next time. He's back.
Oh, some stories with Jimmy Quinn. Yeah, that old Jimmy.
The rest of them, I mean, I think that obviously Stone of Destiny, but you never know that's going to run a race. You've got Dream Composer and the Lamplighter. They don't look very well handicapped in what they've done, or they do like the course. Interesting one. I mean, it's a million miles, but didn't Dark Shot win the girls' charity race, the Magnolia Cup, and it looked in Great Heart.
Yeah,
it looked in Great Heart. I mean, Dark Shot out in front. It normally doesn't go out in front, does it?
That's right. Yeah, you got the Magnolia Cup winner at 4 blind 40.
It didn't look. It looks in really good heart. I thought after I furlong went that, I thought, oh, blunder, that's going to stop.
Yeah.
Just a side note to this, £50,000 handicap. The major maiden attracting 12 runners with a maximum favour of 28.
Yeah, that's very.
Should they not really be consigning this to the dustbin of history and saying, well, fuck yous, we're not putting money up like this if you're not prepared to run?
Well, if you've got a 69 get in there as well, I mean,
go back
a couple of years.
Isn't
it? A couple of years, I mean, you'd have a full field, and what are Air going to think with their Bronze Cup? What's it going to be? 45 gets in their Bronze Cup.
Well, exactly. Linda Ferret could fucking win it.
Yeah, I mean, this obviously is going to come up on Sermon on Sunday in terms of certain crises in racing, in terms of good handicappers, sort of 90s, 80s. I think we can already see that.
It begs the question: what the hell do they want to run for, doesn't it? Yeah,
I mean, you could utilise, like you say, rather you put another race on really, and for your 50,000, and do something more interesting with it than like you say a consolation
sprint, because they have shit out.
Well, this is no better than what you'd get on a Sky Bet Sunday Racing Series.
Yeah,
the 15,000 kind of thing to the winner, that kind of thing.
You could swing these up to Hamilton, couldn't you?
It's that kind of race. It's not good. I do think it's got a particularly weak Saturday feel to it. After they switched the Nassau, not that would have added much anyway, but they've certainly weakened the Saturday card, and that highlights it. Okay, we'll move on to this Coral Summer Cup. Myself and Nick are quite heavily invested in that. John, any thoughts to add to what we've said on that?
Well, the initial thought is, doesn't it do the soul good to see what a shit season Yoke and Glenn's having? The detestable Mulrennan combo riding and paddock picking every time the thing runs. Apart from that, I think the old lads might have just sorted this out, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think Sam Ann's pretty tidy. I was quite keen that you blow the klaxon because I think, I think this is a fair old pork here. I do think Golden Flame will run well because I think there's every chance he could get a bit of a softie. And Valley Forge is 6-1 for short heading that horse at Haydock, 2 runs back. Better off at the weights now, Golden Flame. This trip suits. Course will certainly suit. I think he'll beat Valley Forge. Don't know about the rest.
Yeah. No, like I say, I'm really confident on this. I don't think 8-1's there in the morning for Sam. If it is, it's getting some. It's getting some hammer.
It won't because Nicholas little blow car out, won't he?
Well, yeah, he's just drove it off the. Off the Stamford Bridge away end. I think out the gates first. They get out the gates quickly. Do the.
He drove it off there to get spinal injuries claiming.
Then it's parked outside Mecca down the road.
Yeah.
Mecca? Bloody hell. Going back.
I know. Got to do. Yeah, so anyway, I'm losing it here. 245 Goodwood, Qatar, Lillie, Langtry. Another sort of disappointing.
It is, isn't it? It's a bad leader.
It was shit race, isn't it, now?
Yeah. Like the Galtrees is always better than this.
Miles better.
I mean, it's amazing, really. £300,000 guaranteed, 170,000 for the winner, 64.5 for second, 32,000 for third, which will pay you even a year in Newmarket. Just about pays you a year's fees. If you finish third in this.
And these are absolute gits, aren't they?
And Sealer Rosa heads the list, 106. I will guarantee you at York, the Galtrees, obviously he's not a Group 2, will have a higher standard of field than this.
And be harder to win.
Oh, yeah, definitely, without a doubt. I mean,
I think Emily Dickinson will probably run in it.
Oh, yeah. But I just don't know what trainers are doing here. Because this is an incredibly I suppose you can't knock Goodwood because I mean, like this is a tremendous amount of prize money for a Group 2, 300,000. A lot of Group 2s in France, what will they be, 70,000?
Especially for fillies and mares.
Oh yeah, I mean, to be honest,
it's not the horse's fault, is it? The trainers are fucking shit this again, haven't they?
Well, if I owned a filly or a mare, and I looked at the programme book, I'd be thinking, this is a race for my filly. If I've got a sort of Group 2 or a Group 1, especially if you haven't won a Group 1, you don't get the penalty. If you run well in Group 1s, I'm amazed they're in a filly that's been running well in Group 1s, say, that's not gone for this. Bizarre.
You only get a Group 2 penalty of £3, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah. So you've won at the grade. It's just 3. It just beggars belief. Very, very poor fare. And I mean, Sealer Rosa 15-8 says it all when she was beaten by Free Wind in the Lancashire Oaks. I do like Lancashire Oaks form as a rule in history. I always look at Lancashire Oaks form for the rest of the summer. But when you consider that Free Wind stopped in her tracks, looked a million and still...
She was stood still at one point, wasn't she?
Oh, yeah. And still sailed past her. Yeah. I mean, it's...
That's the limitations you're dealing with there. I think when you take the weight for age into account, I think Emily Dickinson will shit this myself.
Yeah, I had the same thing about Emily Dickinson. I thought it'd probably be favourite.
Well, that's it. That's the thing. You see, Emily Dickinson has not she did run second to Ross Carberry on reappearance, but then you look at the Ross Carberry form. She was like close up behind. Was it La Petite Coco in the big? Was it the Pretty Polly? Was it? Yeah, Pretty Polly. My Astra in that. That's quality. That's quality fare. That's the best form line of the field, without doubt. So Emily Dickinson.
You look at the adjusted top speeds as well. I mean, Emily Dickinson's got something there on the clock. Sailor Ross has never been anywhere near on the ticker, has she?
Yeah, she's a tough, hardy filly, and she battles, and she does find a lot. That's the thing with fillies; you get that many that sort of run below form for no apparent reason. It's usually a gin and pate race for us, but like she got well beat by Forbearance last back end. Forbearance like slammed her last autumn. I don't think Forbearance is in much form now, but that's the thing with fillies; you just don't know what you're going to get. But Emily Dickinson is definitely the one for me. Around the 5-2, we're unanimous on that one. Otherwise, listeners, if you don't fancy the race, it's gin, bit of Melba toast, maybe
Lock my kitchen door and whistle, and he'll come straight in.
And he comes. So that's it. That's our advice. 320 the Stewards Cup. Me and John have tipped. Now it's over to Davis, because I like Davis's thoughts here. Even if he hasn't got a bet for us in the Stewards Cup, I want to know what he thinks about the draw.
Well, it's all about what they're doing. 1920, 21. Is it? Let's have a look. Mr. Wagyu in 20. 21, just another bottle, or is it 20? Abel Kane. Yeah, it's all about what those three do. I think where those three go will decide the race. If they come stand side, I just thought the track looked, when they did a head on of the replay of the sprint at Goodwood today, it looked a bit more darker on the stands rails, i.e. more softer. It's very, very hard race. If I had to, I looked through the race. I thought Method first time in a handicap looked quite interesting, and Great Ambassador probably. The one is it? Yeah, Great Ambassador, who, despite I think where he's got Asafi taking off 3. That's the one that's been on the wrong side all the time last year, wasn't it? It would have won the Air Gold Cup apart from Bielsa on the rails. Went off 3-1 for the Air Gold Cup. It looks to have been set out for this Great Ambassador. But in the end, I couldn't make my mind up, so I left it.
Like Safi is a £3 claimer, isn't he?
Pardon?
You like Safi as a £3 claimer?
A bit ambivalent, really. I wouldn't say, but she obviously must get on with the horse in the book almost, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Ed, I mean, and there's no doubt it's run to higher than its handicap.
Yes.
I don't think there's one you can say is chucked in, can you? I mean, I looked at our old mate St. Lawrence beyond the Khaled form at the Palace House. I looked at that.
He don't want 6 though, does he?
No, that's why I thought maybe 5. But you look through the race, one doesn't stab you out as being really well handicapped. There's a lot of older. There's a lot of horses in form, and a lot of horses dropping down the weights. And the pace angle was the only thing. Did look at Method. Did look at Great Ambassador. And I thought, nah, why not? No, I don't want anything. It's going to be bets.
No, fair enough. No, good stuff. Okay, we'll finish the show off with a 355. It's a Class 2 handicap. That's it's a 0-105. Spirit of Nguru is 5-1-5. Positive Impact, second in. I backed this last time and was chinned by Jimi Hendrix with a late solo medley. Any thoughts on this, chaps?
Decent pace here, won't there?
Yeah, should be. I mean, it should. But then you, like you say, Nick, with the draw now, with the no cutaway, it might make things a little bit more tricky for the old closers.
I'd give Galliac a chance, but yeah, I know what with there could be trouble there. There could be trouble.
Yeah, I found it tough to solve, to be honest. Positive Impact. I did like the 5 off to take away the £5 it went up for Newmarket with old Benoit, the Colombian kid. Yeah, he might be all right, but then stall 10. That's not good, is it? 7, really?
Oh, no, especially for front runners.
Yeah. So
you want to get out, especially with play. You want to be if you were stuck going very hard, wide 3 out. No. It was put in the too tricky bracket for me.
Yeah, John.
I thought if I put a bit of water on that, Gisborne might feel the benefit of it.
Yeah,
it's going to be 30 tomorrow, though, I think.
Yeah, well, maybe not then, because the time the sun's been baking on it all day. Just see what the time the Stewards Cup is, and then decide. But if the Stewards Cup time's on the slow side, I'd recommend having a little bit on Gisborne at a big price, because he could come through off a searing pace.
Yeah, Gisborne's. I was at Goodwood earlier this week, and Gisborne's like the Tuesday where Goodwood over the Tannoy announced free strawberries and cream, and I've never seen queues like it. And that's the queues when Gisborne, when it turns up soft, and the bookmakers aren't opened up there, everyone's knocking at the door. It's soft ground. Gisborne. Everyone wants Gisborne when it turns. Yep, agreed. But I have to keep an eye on that one. Right. Any other business? Anything else of any interest that you've seen for our listeners at the weekend?
Yes, I'm playing in a charity golf event tomorrow, so please.
Is this McIver Feed charity golf?
It is, yeah.
I hope it's 33 degrees, John.
Well,
You'll have to back 3 winners to pay for the amount of sun cream you'll use.
the sun cream is in the car, just in case. And as is a tube of toothpaste in case I have to take a coronary. To get back indoors.
Right. Hope you've enjoyed this show. We're back as usual on Sunday with the sermon. Me, John, Chris. And we've got a lot of things to go through. Got a lot of interesting things to say about Goodwood and their Nazis that run the show there. But apart from that, I hope you have a great weekend, and we hope we don't spoil it. And we're back Sunday around 7:30. That's all from me, John and Nick. Bye for now.